Oh, hello, all gorgeous little boys and girls. Hope you're all having a good weekend and all looking forward to Christmas. And I hope you've all been good this year, so that Santa will deliver your presents. I'm sure you have been all been lovely boys and girls. For tonight's story, bedtime story, I'm going to read you a story, and the chapter is called Angel Tarren, Joseph, and the Last Two Feathers, and this is part one. Just outside the edge of the universe, towards the bright star, on the right, God and Angel Tarren have a conversation, standing on the shores of glass just outside the Golden Straits. Tarren was desperate to be able to fly, but he needed 10 more feathers to make his wish possible. Tarren asked God, "Dear God, I would really love to be able to fly with all the higher ranking angels." God says, "But Tarren, I hope that you know by now that only the highest ranking angels can fly." Tarren says, "I understand, my God, but how I wish for this." God points out a certain little girl called Leah and her sister Helena and says, "If you can make a difference to these little girls' life, you will earn feathers as rewards." Tarren smiles. "Yes, my God. I will do everything I can to help those sweet little girls." God then points to a boy named Julian, who was a big bully. Tarren says, "Surely, God, do you really want me to help that bully?" God replies, "Yes, we have to show everyone love. For each good deed that either you do or you encourage someone else to do, you will be rewarded a feather. But you are limited to being on Earth for only 3 days and 2 nights." Meanwhile, on Earth, little Helena is praying hard for a miracle for her little sister to be healed of her crippled leg and to be able to walk again. God hears her prayer and points her out to Tarren. Tarren smiles, saying, "She looks and sounds so sweet praying to you, my God." God replies, "Yes, my son, and because children are so dear to your heart, like they are mine, I'm going to make you the world's guardian angel. But first, I'm sending you down to a city in California where Helena, Leah, and Julian all live." Michael asks, "But God," sorry, Tarren asks, "but God, I'm not prepared. What shall I do or say?" God replied, "You will be, my son. You have such a loving heart and a pure heart, which will lead you." Tarren still saying, "But God." God just smiles, and before Tarren knows anything else, he finds himself walking through a street in California. So that was part one, and here's part two. Tarren comes across a man kicking his dog. He walks over to him, asking, "Why are you kicking the dog? God's creature." The man just looked in Tarren's beautiful brown eyes, so full of love, that the man melted down and poured out all his sorrows. He was taking his anger out on the poor innocent animal, but after talking to the angel, the man gained peace and promised never to hurt any animal again. As the man walked past Tarren, felt an itching on his neck. He scratched it and found a pure white feather, his first feather. It was around Christmas, and everywhere was filled with decorations. Tarren walked in the park and smiled as he watched the children play. One little girl fell off the swing, cutting her knee. Tarren runs over, picks her up, and gives her to her mum, and with the ointment in his pocket, he heals her knee. The girl smiles again, and he reaches in his pockets. He finds the second feather. He looks round and sees a butterfly that's got caught in a spider's web. He gently puts his hand in the web and sets it free. He smiles as the butterfly flies away happy and free. The third feather he finds in his mouth. The fourth feather was rewarded to him after helping a baby bird back to his nest that had fallen. The fifth after helping back an old lady with her shopping back to her flat. She invites him in for mulled wine and a mince pie as a thank you. The old lady talks about her granddaughters, and Tarren smiles, recognising them as Leah and Helena, the two little girls that God pointed out to him. Tarren smiles. They are such beautiful girls. The granny replies with sadness in her heart. Yes, they are, but Leah has been crippled from birth. Tarren replies, with sadness in his heart and tears in his eyes. Oh, that's so sad. The day was getting old, and he left the old lady, thanking her, then went back to the park. He found a bench in the park to sit on, and he has a conversation with God again, who instructs him to appear to the school children as the gardener. Tarren agrees, and God turns the bench into a comfortable warm bed for Tarren to sleep in, and tucks him in for the night. The next day he gets up and finds bread and jam and hot chocolate at the edge of the bed that God had provided for him. He looks up and thanks God. When he gets to the school, he's very surprised to see children pushing and shoving to get to their favourite class first, which is not the sort of behaviour he's used to, because everyone in heaven is well behaved. And this is part 3 now. He gets an even bigger shock when he sees how the adults treat each other. Tarren sees 12-year-old Leah, who behaves very well and kindly, and lets all the other children go before her, opening the doors for them. He walks up to the children and calmly says, How about if we take an example from Leah? Humbly stop pushing, wait your turn, queue up nicely. All the kids felt something different about this stranger gardener, and obeyed his order as he went back to prune the roses. And then he finds the 6th feather among the roses. He puts it away with the other feathers in its envelope. At dinner time, Tarren gets invited to the staff room. None of the teachers remembered taking him on as a gardener, but they agreed in letting him stay because he did a fantastic job. He smiled at the beautiful tinsel and lights on the Christmas tree, but was soon cut short by 2 teachers arguing about who plays in the school activity. Mrs. Smith wanted Charlotte to be the angel, but Mrs. Jones preferred Mandy to do it. Tarren gently asked, How about a fair compromise, that they both be angels? Both teachers agree, but their falling out went far deeper. At one time, they were very best friends, but fell out years back. One was jealous of the other for winning a swimming medal, when the other one didn't. Tarren reminded them how silly this was, that their friendship is far more important than any possession. They both agreed and hugged each other, crying in each other's arms with loving forgiveness. Tarren found the 7th feather under his chair. During the lunch break, Julian had been really nasty to Helena. He kicked all her lunch out, pulled her hair, and he put a creepy spider on her making her scream, which made the whole hall hear her, which made everyone laugh. Poor Helena ran out the school crying, along with Leah. Tarren ran after them to try to console them, but even Leah, who was the most sweetest, kindest girl in the school, was plotting revenge in her heart and mind to get back at Julian for upsetting her sister. Okay, now this is part 4. Tarren talked to the sisters. Leah was still harbouring anger in her heart, but talking formed a friendship between them. The 2 girls go to their nans early from school. She phones the school to explain the reason why they went out to school early. After school finished, Tarren walked into the glittering Christmas decoration-filled street. Another night falls, and he only has up to next evening to earn 3 more feathers. But as soon as Angel Tarren falls asleep, God disturbs his sleep and instructions to visit both Leah and Julian, but without them seeing him. So he has to make himself invisible to them, and gave them both dreams of their possible futures from the path choices they make. Tarren asks, "How can I? I'm not you, God." God disappears, saying, "Just use your heart." Tarren obediently first visits Leah. He smiles watching her sleep, giving her a dream of the future she may have if she follows her plan through to show Julian up to the whole class, telling them of his low grades, but she regrets this because teachers and friends can no longer trust her to keep things secret, and when she loses the respect of everyone and trust, this upsets her, which affects her grades and loses her friends. Later in life, she is unemployed, or maybe just turns out to be a cleaner and has no friends. However, in the second dream, she decides to forgive Julian, which melts everyone's heart, including Julian's. He decides not to bully no more, because Leah showed him a better way. She keeps her friends, plus makes many more, including Julian. She gets top grades, and later on in life gets a good job as a nurse, teacher, or counsellor. Tarren then visits Julian's house. As he walks through the walls, he sees a single mom very ill in bed. This is probably why Julian behaves bad. He has to take care of his sick mom, and his dad had walked out on them years ago, and this made him angry. Tarren had tears where it upset him, but he gave Julian his first dream, where his anger erupts more. Everyone hates him. He fails in the school, then as an adult ends up completely alone in prison. But in the second dream he repents of his ways, becomes nicer, concentrates harder at school, catches up, then leaves school with good grades, then later becomes either a lawyer, firefighter, or policeman and finds himself a good wife. Tarren leaves them now. Their future is in their own hands. The second day comes, and to Tarren's delight, both Julian and Leah do the right thing. Tarren smiles and tells them both, after doing the right thing, that he believes that their future would be so much better for other people and themselves. Leah said, "Tarren, there's a feather in your hair." Tarren took it out laughing. God has given him the eighth feather for turning the children's life around. The school environment became much better, and Julia and Leah became friends. However, the day soon passed. Evening came, and there was not much more time left to do any good more deeds. Tarren sighed. "It's almost 3 days. I only have 8 feathers. I need 2 more in order to fly. But what good deed can I do after everyone's asleep?" To be continued. And this is the last part of the story. As Tarren looked closely at the feathers, he noticed all the colours of the rainbow within the pure white. He then remembered that one can see the rainbow colours within the pure white, which has healing powers. He then thought of Leah and Julian's mum. What if he decided to do with them then? Would he do something very sacrificial and thoughtful? He decided to give up 2 of his feathers and go back into Leah's room invisibly, secretly tucking it under her pillow. Then the next invisible visit was to Julian's mum, putting it under her pillow. The next day they woke up so happy, completely healed. Julian's mum was able to return to work. She enjoyed the work that she enjoyed, and she got a well-paid job. And as for Leah, she ran to school with Helena and her sister so happily. The girl smiled at Tarren, showing him the beautiful feather. Leah saying, "I think it was an angel that visited me and left me his feather." Tarren smiled, but his time was up, and he could no longer earn his feathers. In fact, he lost 2 more, so he only got 6 now. What was he going to do? He told the children he had to go home. The kids asked, "Where is home?" But Tarren replied, Just my work is done." With that he smiled and disappeared before their eyes. They all gasped. Leah saying that he was an angel. That night the town had a town Christmas concert and everyone went to it. Julian and his mum, Leah, Helena, their granny and parents helped to decorate the whole of the town's Christmas tree. Meanwhile, God brought his special angel back to heaven. God asked Tarren, "How many feathers do you have in your envelope?" Tarren cried, "Only 6, God." God asked, "Are you sure? How about you take them out and recount them again?" Tarren reached in his pocket and pulled out the envelope, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But, he replied confused. God replied, "I am so very proud of you, son. Not only did you do all the good deeds, but you was willing to sacrifice your own happiness for the good of others. That's why for the last 2 good deeds done in love and sacrificed by you, I gave you 2 feathers for each of them. You see, it's not just the good deed itself that matters, but the heart reason behind it." Angel Tarren Joseph was so happy, and he attached his 10 feathers to his wings, and he flew up so very high with a grin on his face with all the other archangels. Back on earth, Helena, Leo, Julian and his mom smiled as they looked at the angel feather. Leah put the angel on the Christmas tree, smiling. "I think an angel got his wings and now he can fly." They all realized then that they had been visited by an angel, and the town was crowded out by people singing, "Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King." Well, I hope you're all blessed by that, all gorgeous little boys and girls, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And there will be one more story before Christmas Day, but that will be a surprise. God bless you. Lots of love to you all.